Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from paulgalenetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is September 23rd, 2021, and these are the top stories of the day. Yes, what you see here is that Nintendo Direct 9/23/2021 splash logo, because the event is starting in 112 minutes as of this recording. But before I go into a little bit of talk on that segment, I gotta say, happy 131st anniversary to Nintendo. For yes, on this date, back in 1989 in Japan, Nintendo was founded. So, quite an achievement being around for well over a century at this point in time. And, 19 years removed from being a century and a half, which is just a staggering amount of time for a company to be around, to have evolved from various businesses into where they are the current day, and to have really built a powerful brand that is recognized the world over and really is just this dominant force that has brought so much joy. So thank you, Big N. Congratulations. Here's to a fantastic Direct today, and the best to you and yours in many years to come. I hope Nintendo never goes away. All right. Regarding the Direct, this morning, a couple of leaks came out of what's likely to be shown at the Nintendo Direct. I'm going to save what those leaks were for the end of this video though. I have one other segment to talk about in between, so I'll let you know with enough time notice so that you're not spoiled by it in case you don't want to know at all what that announcement or announcements is going to be. But it's a little something. It's something notable. Would I have preferred to not find out and just find out, during this 40-minute presentation from 3 to 3:40 p.m.? Probably, but knowing a little piece of it is not the end of the world, because now I'm just kind of even more excited to see it and see the rest. Nothing beats, though, that pure going in totally unaware of what's to happen, wishful thinking, thoughts all over the place, and then just being wowed, But this news isn't going to derail any of that fun. It'll be all right. But anyways, this presentation is coming to us soon, and I'm going to be live streaming. So if you're going to join me, thank you in advance. Yesterday was my big speculation talk video. If you need something to watch for the next hour or so before the Direct, I recommend you check out that video, because it was pretty cool. It was like 55 minutes of me just spitting ideas back and forth, and I had a really good time. Okay. The next segment to talk about, it is Thursday morning, so we have our Famitsu sales charts. This is coming to us directly from Famitsu.com today. This is the top 10 software estimated sales. In first place is the PS4 version of Tales of Arise with 33,000 units sold. At second is WarioWare on Nintendo Switch with 32,000 units sold. Third place is the PS4 version of Senran Shinobu Ninja, and that's got 18,600 copies. Fourth is Switch Bang Dream Girls Band Party for Nintendo Switch with 15,000. In five is Ring Fit Adventure for Nintendo Switch with 11,000. At sixth is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 11,700. In seventh is the Minecraft Nintendo Switch version with 11,100. At 8 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 6,900. At 9th is Momotaro Dentetsu with 6,900. And at 10 is Switch Ni no Kuni 2. Or I should say the Nintendo Switch version of Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, with 6,600. It's a Nintendo Switch dominated chart for the most part, but you got to give acknowledgement to the PlayStation 4 title or two that is on here, in particular, the main one, the most important one, the number one spot. Not far behind was WarioWare, but Tales of Arise is hanging in at number one 2 weeks in a row now. Pretty cool. And we have a first appearance of Senran Shinobu Ninja at number 3. A couple of these games on this chart this week are first appearances. Some of those evergreens also are present, like Ring Fit Adventure, Mario Kart, and so forth. So, still kind of a cool chart, even in weeks where it's not like massive news, massive sales from hardware or software. Still fun to look at this stuff. All right, And on the hardware side of things, we have a different visual breakup. Nintendo Switch did 31,200 with the Switch Lite 8,700. Combined sales, you're looking at almost 40,000. PS5 disc version 13,000, digital version 2,700. Overall, you're looking at about 16,000. Xbox Series X and S did 2,700 and 1,500 respectively. So overall, you have about 4,300. PS4 at 747 units total, and the 3DS, including new 2DS models and everything combined, 643 units. Not an explosive week by any means. However, Nintendo Switch hanging in at number 1, this close to the Nintendo Switch OLED launch is good to see. It's good to see, healthy numbers for Nintendo Switch, regardless of where it is on the charts. Even if it gets dethroned and is second or third, it's just good to see that it's doing well. And that's honestly true for the other platforms. It's good to see that PlayStation 5 is doing fairly well. I mean, it's not crushing it in terms of sales because the stock is low, but it's seemingly being sold out when it is in stock, so that's at least a plus. And on the Xbox side of things, anyone that says 5,000 is nothing, maybe that's nothing for Nintendo or for Sony typically, but for Xbox, the Xbox Series brand of platform is doing really well, and it's going to be on its pace to outperforming the entirety of Xbox One in Japan in 8 years, right? And it'll do that in just about a year and maybe a couple of months. So that's it. Now, attention, warning, warning. The next image that I'm going to show is one of the leaked games that Nintendo accidentally let slip out on their Japanese website. In addition to this leaked image of this leaked game that will very likely be in today's Nintendo Direct, I will tell you about a couple of the other leaks that came out of this website drop. Ready? If you're going to leave, now you can leave. Thank you for watching and have a good day. If you're going to stay, here's the following. Kirby! Yeah. This is a new Kirby game. Seemingly a 3D Kirby title. We don't know just how accurate or how much does this still shot show. Is this a world that you could navigate through in a 3D way, moving in 360 degrees, I should say. Camera swoops and stuff like that, self-controlled camera. Or is this a 2D platformer, or is it kind of a combination thing, an isometric perspective title? We don't know. But this image kind of makes me think, yeah, this is going to be a 3D roaming Kirby. But I could totally be wrong. It was announced on Nintendo's site, then pulled on the Japanese site. Obviously, you can see that this is the Japanese logo of the game. But probably safe to say we're going to get a special 2.5-minute trailer or some type of reveal at this Direct. This would have been cool. This is something that we knew was in development, actually. So in a way, Nintendo did say previously that a Kirby title was in the works and that it was going to be grand and big. We didn't know anything of it. We never seen it, so it's kind of a leak. I mean, it is a leak, but it's both kind of surprise and not, because we knew it was coming. With Donkey Kong, that would have been a bigger deal because that's just rumored. We didn't know it was coming. This we kind of did know about, But I'm looking forward to it. Still pretty sweet. The other thing that was mentioned today in this leak were dates for upcoming Nintendo Switch titles, including 2022 for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. That's big because that means that Nintendo internally still thinks 2022 is it. Some people were worried, myself included, that it could be a 2023 title if Eiji Aonuma said targeting 2022. I was thinking and hoping for sure that it would be a next year title, but you never knew. But if they said 2022, again, today in an updated listing on their website, chances are that's it. That also means it could be shown off today, right? And then one more cool one, Bayonetta 2. It got announced 2022. This is the first time that we've seen a Nintendo report that did not say TBA, to be announced, or to be determined, right? So if Nintendo on their Japanese website said Bayonetta 2, targeting 2022, why would they say that? I think because, crossing my fingers, man, on this one, big time, they're going to blow the roof off the place with a Bayonetta 3 trailer. Did I say 2 earlier? I hope I said 3. A Bayonetta 3 trailer for this Nintendo Direct. That, honestly, is a surprise. It's one of my, honestly, most hyped, most hoped to see games. Direct presentation after direct presentation for nearly 4 years. So eventually it's going to happen. And I'm really excited that it probably is going to be there today. All right. Now that's going to do it for video game news. But if you stuck around, I've got one more little snippet. The on-again, off-again rumored Metroid Prime trilogy. I have for a long time said my personal hope is that if this Metroid Prime trilogy HD comes out, it includes Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, but that Nintendo would ideally take kind of a remake approach to Metroid Prime, since that's mostly thought of by most people as the best of the 3. I like 1 and 3 the best, almost equally, but I gotta give it to 1, I think, and followed by 2, which I still think is great, but you know, probably goes 1, 3, 2 for me. And if you're going to give one of them a remake treatment, you know, up the poly count, up the textures, recoat of paint, bigger, more ambitious cinema scenes perhaps, make it feel a little bit bigger where you're keeping the same general terrain and flow of the title, but it's just remade. It would be Metroid Prime 1. Include in it up-resed ports of Metroid Prime 2 and 3, give echoes, give corruption, you know, 16:9 support, 1080p, 60 frames per second, and just up-resed. Everything else the same. You don't have to go in and repaint things, all that kind of stuff. It'll look pretty enough just in proper HD. And include that in a package for $60. Well, it looks like rumors are suggesting that something like that's going to happen, particularly in terms of what's the involvement going into Metroid Prime, and that it looks like remake treatment. We don't know grand remake treatment or something more akin to The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword or The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD versions of that, where, yeah, mostly the same game, not quite a full recoat of paint. Wind Waker actually got a bigger bump than like Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword, but you know, something small. Or are we looking at, you know, Final Fantasy VII remake, Resident Evil 2 remake, Crash Bandicoot trilogy remake? Like, what kind of level of remake are we talking about? But rumors are suggesting today online that Metroid Prime is going to get that. Now, whether or not it's going to go Metroid Prime 1 fully remade and then 2 and 3 on their own cartridge just as up-res ports, or would they do all 3 remakes, or will they include the remake of 1 and the remastered versions of 2 and 3 on 1? I don't know. Obviously, the last one would be the best deal, be a tremendous value. That's what I've wanted for a long time. We'll see, but could that show up today? I don't know. I'm not going to go another 55 minutes of spec talk. If you want to see that video, check it out. It was dropped yesterday on my YouTube channel. Like I said, a lot of fun. Today, just a little bit of last minute hype talk before the presentation. Okay, this is PGN signing out. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good one, and maybe I'll see some of you live watching live with me during the Nintendo Direct, which is in just another hour and a half. I'm stoked. All right, talk to you later. Bye.